Welcome to another of our episodes on one source tax provision functionality. In today's session, I want to talk a little bit about state reporting and in particular the state deferreds. Now, as we know, the state reporting area is a little bit, some would probably say aggravating just because, it's difficult to sometimes find pieces of information that you want. So from the deferred balances perspective, if we take a look at the options and go through our filter, we'll know that, pre-tax, if we run the pre-tax report, this is only going to give us the federal pre-tax activity. So how do we get some more data around the pre-tax state deferreds and then the tax affected as well? So in the state support area, you will notice that there are a listing of jurisdictions. So as long as you have a jurisdiction activated on a unit, and right now I'm in the consolidated, so it will be all units that have local jurisdiction assigned to them. It will show up here. Now, if you take a look and you go to the state deferred balances, once we get into our options here and get to the filter, you will see that there is an option for pre-tax, along with your state plus federal benefit of state, and then of course the FBOS alone by itself. And you'll be able to run all of these reports similarly to the way that you would run them on the federal side. There is one additional piece that's available, is that if I pop down to my pre-tax, I will also get two. I'll get a pre-apportionment value, and I will get a post-apportionment value as well. You did notice that once I selected a tax effect, that pre-apportionment value is no longer an option for you to select, so that you'll be able to run those that way. Now, if you've got a lot of states, this is a right pain, I would say. But this one at least allows you to run all of your reports by, contracted, expanded balance sheet, your income statement view, the CRR expanded balance sheet, so that you can see if there's any, if this is a foreign entity, you'll be able to see if there are any FX rate changes, etc., broken out separate from your statutory rate changes. But you will have to run them all individually if you want to get that level of detail. Now, there are a couple other things. There's something called the state deferred balances report. And then, of course, in our deferred support area, there's something called the deferred work paper. So let me just hop into the state support first. Unfortunately, you can only get a tax affected report here. And you can get it by all of our various options, as I mentioned. But so I actually exported this out already so that you could kind of see what it looks like. And what it basically does is it gives you for all of your jurisdictions. This one I just did a regular balance sheet roll forward. But if I, open up one of these, I'll go to, I think it was a blended state, had a lot of things. You will be able to see the state impact, what your beginning balance, your rate change. It's all here in one fell swoop, so you won't have to print out multiple versions of it. So the area that you have to do multiple iterations will be if you want to actually get a pre-tax balance. But we also have something called the deferred work paper, which is in the supporting area, which will give you a pre-tax balance. Downside is you only get two things. You'll get your pre-tax beginning balance and tax affected. And you'll also get your ending pre-tax balance and tax affected. You will not be able to see the activity between the two goalposts, basically. However, you will get it broken out by your types of items, so your temporary differences. And I do want to point out that this effective rate really becomes your apportioned state rate net of federal benefit that's being applied to this entity. So you will see that this report, this deferred balances report, also includes your federal jurisdiction. So it's all jurisdictions that you have activated to a unit or to a sub-consolidation group. So it gives you your tax effect. So you can see on my NOLs, it's 21%. We probably had some override rates going on in our federal here. Yes, we did have an entity that's at 11%. So that's why it's kind of giving you a slightly different rate there. But for the state, it will be a portion net of federal benefit. So this kind of gives you a variety of different reports that maybe you can put together to kind of get to what you want. One last point is that if you're looking at the state after apportionment, unfortunately, you will not get a rate there. So you'll notice that this ending balance is $12,274. There is no rate, and that's because this is post-apportionment, then multiplied by your state tax, then multiplied by the net federal benefit. So that's one downside to this report that I will say. So our key reports, again, if you're trying to get detail around states, would be this deferred work paper. If you're trying to see all of your entities, that will give you some pre-tax plus tax effect in 2 columns, beginning and ending. If you go down to your state deferred balances, that will allow you to see state tax affected, but will give you the option of running all of your different reports. You just cannot get pre-tax balances. And if you absolutely need to delve into a particular state, then you can go back to the individual state, run the state deferred balances report, and that will give you your option to do pre-tax and tax affected. And if it's pre-tax, it will give you your option to do pre-apportionment and post-apportionment. Hope this session was helpful. Look forward to seeing you on another session in our series.